Yeah, let me go bang him. Women are really the ones who will bang anything, and that's the honest truth. Because when men bang anything, you guys bang like an ugly chick with really big boobs and you just focus on the boobs, right? Women, if a guy's funny or he plays guitar or something, we're like, tee hee. All right, so today we have a very important topic. Now, I cover a lot of topics on this show. I talk about a lot of really deep things. We talk about society and how society is going downhill, the birth rate, how modern women are really, being modern women. But, I got into a disagreement the other day. And this disagreement is the revealing of female nature. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Now, I hear a lot on the news. I hear a lot in the media that this is terrible, right? The women are being whores. The women are, it's like now we're having Bonnie Blue and she's having sex with 1,000 men in a day. And, what I always think about is that somehow people, oh, I'm not live. I'm not live on YouTube. It says I'm live on here. Oh, I am now? Okay. Where do I need to start from the beginning? Where did it go? I'll go again. All right, what up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. So, today we're going to talk about a really important topic. Um First off, I want to say welcome to the new studio. Look how nice this looks. Look how beautiful this background is. I told them I wanted me to look 5 years younger, so I could just be 20. It's forever 21, not forever 28. So obviously I'm over the hill now. So I gotta, I gotta get the lighting, and I think they did a good job. So shout out to the production team. Our guy here, he spent 9 hours working today to get this going. So they work hard. So we're talking about a lot of different topics on this show. And, it ranges, you could say some important issues. So we talk about men's rights and how men really don't have access to their children in this country. We talk about society and how, at one point, like 100 years ago, wasn't it crazy that every woman had like 8 kids? It's kind of insane. I was one of 10 growing up, and we were the biggest family. There was like one other family at the church that had as many kids. And now it's like men are begging. I had a conversation with someone and I was like, you don't get to pick how many kids you have because your wife could just abort it. Like, you don't know. This is the time we're living in. And 100 years ago, women had 8 kids and they did tend to stay with one man for life. Um, and now we're to the point where women are admitting to cheating. Now, we got to talk about if this is good or bad. Now, I think on its surface, you might say, Pearl, this is a terrible thing. This is awful. I mean, society's going downhill. These women aren't having kids. Men don't have access to their children. And yeah, you could say it's awful. But on the other hand, at least we know who women are. And I do have to give a disclaimer. So I say monetized on YouTube. So I totally am 100% mean this. I totally mean it. And if anyone from YouTube is watching, I mean it from the umpteenth of my heart. I mean it so hard. Not all women are like that. No, it is not all women. Not all, not all, not all. Me, I'm super special and I just know all these special women that are super different. And this is what, I was thinking. I think there's this idea that women from 50 years ago were super different and special. And they might have made different decisions, you could argue. But now we see who women really are because now we have the choice to be anything. We can be an astronaut and have Jeff Bezos fund it. And autumn, it's funny. Women, we have a tendency, not all, not all, not all. I really want to stay monetized. So not all, not all. This is a joke. It's comedy. Okay. So we have this tendency where like we want to drive cars and the men are like, here you go. And then we got to automate the cars so women could drive them. Now we got self-driving cars. They did that with rockets, you know. And then the women were like, ooh, I want to do sales. And the men are like, here, you could be salespeople. They're like, that's too hard. And they're like, here's marketing. Now you can make these targeted ads. Why go out and sell things when you could just run a Facebook ad?
It's time to face the facts, guys. Modern women care about looks. They want a man to be well dressed and looking good. It's more important than ever to make sure your outfit is put together and on point, and nothing ruins an outfit more than an old belt that doesn't fit right. Most guys are still wearing belts with old, stretched out holes and worn out buckles. Anson Belt and Buckle, the sponsor of today's video, has created the perfect belt for anyone looking to make their outfit look sharp with the most comfortable fit you can buy. The Anson belt uses a micro-adjustable tracking system, so your belt fits perfectly every single time. Anson's belts adjust with you throughout the day, so whether you're sitting, standing, or on the move, you're always comfortable and looking sharp. Once you experience that kind of comfort and fit, trust me, you'll never want to wear a regular belt again. You can mix and match any buckle with any strap, so you'll always have a belt that matches your outfit perfectly without having to buy dozens of belts that clutter up your closet. But here's the thing, it's not just about style, it's about feeling more comfortable, more confident, and more polished in what you wear. If you're wondering why you should trust Anson Belt, they are a company that is family owned and operated and has earned over 40,000 five-star reviews. Let's see what customers Isaac and Arius had to say about their Anson Belt purchase. Not many products touched me in my life. Anson Belt is one of the few. The packaging already made me feel like it's a special gift for me. I was smiling when opening the package. I ordered 4 different buckles and straps of different colors and material. Anson read my mind and put them together exactly as I planned. This is a clear sign that Anson is thinking. They know what they are doing. This is impossible if they do a quick and dirty job. I continued to smile when I saw that. The quality of the buckle and the strap is the best. I couldn't believe someone could put this much thought into any belt. I was worried that if the strap might be too thick due to the ratchet design and the dual layer, but Anson made sure that each layer was so thin and the strap was never thicker, nor the buckle any bulkier than my other belts. Isaac. Anson Belts stands behind every product they make, and once you get one, you'll see why. Because Anson Belt and Buckle is sponsoring today's video, when you click the link in the description or scan the QR code to build a box set, you'll get 2 bonus pieces, a buckle and a strap, completely free. There's 3 buckles and 3 straps, which can be mixed and matched into 9 unique belt combinations all in one box. It's an exclusive deal you won't get anywhere else, so click the link, build your set, and upgrade your belt game today.
And I would argue that it's actually a good thing what's happening, because right now you get to see who women are at its core. Now, let's talk about who men are, because a lot of people say I don't give, a grievance to men. I don't cook men, and I need to cook. I need to cook the men. Well, so men collectively, they could just, put us in cages and like rape us or something. Like if the men, because they're obviously stronger than us. Like today, I played basketball for like 2 hours. Okay. And I'm going up, I'm playing with a bunch of guys and I'm going up for the layup. And there's a guy and he's like 6'3", right? And I'm just, and his arms were so high. And I'm 6 foot, but when it's a big guy, and I'm like, please don't hurt me. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, please, I don't want to tear an ACL going up for this layup. You are obviously stronger than me. Please just let me play. Please just let me play and don't rock my shit, please. And that's really, and I thought about this later, because I won't lie to you, he did stuff me. But like if he was going up against another guy, he would have jumped, he would have swatted. He just was like, and just knocked the ball out of my hands. I was like, okay. And I thought about it. That's how society is, right? The men, they're gonna let us play the game, but they're gonna be like, all right, here's easy mode. Because they cannot abuse us like we can abuse them. We just have this tendency, we're just abusive. And there's some, I want to find, there's this idea that, again, that women are super different back then. Well, I'll tell you guys a story. This is the war bride phenomenon. Basically, I'm summarizing because I can't remember what country this took place in. And I do think people in my field are going to cook me because I'm really bad with names. And I'm bad with pronunciations and names. Sue me, sue me, sue me. Do you know what I mean? Just sue me, but whatever. Basically, these guys, they married their high school sweethearts. All the guys are like, here, let me just find a trad wife. Well, these guys did, and they married their high school sweethearts. They went off to war. And while they were at war, the guys they were fighting basically came in and occupied the land there. And they were like higher status. Like, the women were dating and marrying soldiers. And then these freaking generals came in. And this was in like 1850. Do you know where the women went? Gone. The guys came back. They're like fighting for their country. And it got so bad. These guys kept losing their wives with their like 8 children that the army would intercept the letters. And if they had a really stressful week, they wouldn't let the soldiers have it because every other week a guy was just crashing out. And so I actually think in a way it's kind of good that women are revealing ourselves to be who we are, which is absolutely batshit insane, crazy, talk too much, cheat all the time, absolute horse. But not all YouTube, not all, and I mean that. And I do mean that. And I do think this is helpful for women to understand because if you do understand that you're crazy and evil and like all that stuff, at least in your relationships, you can just realize that he's probably right. Do you know what I mean? Like if you go into things thinking that you're right, you're just going to be wrong because you're the crazy one. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they came back to the town where they were dragging yeah, I mean, and that's why I always try to preface, but people always skip over this. I'm not special or different. I'm just aware, right? It's kind of like you guys as men know that you'll hit pretty much anything. You guys will smash. It's so crazy. And a lot of you guys will try to virtue signal and say you won't hit. But if nobody had to know, like nobody would know, and you were confident that woman, the problem is women now, smashing an ugly woman or a mid woman comes with possibly getting your life ruined because she might crash out. But if you could just hit and you knew she would go away after, um, if you could just hit and she would go away after, I really do think that most of you guys would smash. Let's see how low you would go. I think most of you, if it had been a few years of no sex and you were horny enough and Lizzo looked like this. Yeah, I'm like pretty confident that if no one had to know, or maybe if you're not into black girls, the white version of this, but you guys see what I'm saying, right? And that's kind of an uncomfortable part of male nature. It's just how attracted you guys are to everything. Guys get disgusted too. Well, I get disgusted with my nature. You guys, but in general, male nature is much better because you guys build things, create things, and like you're way more patient. Like we're very impatient. We get frustrated. Everything's catastrophic. It's like we're passive aggressive. We're bitchy. And the only negative trait men really have, in my opinion, is listening to women and like being too attracted to them. That's really because like most men I know, that's like their greatest downfall in life. I mean, maybe I guess anger you could say, but you guys will get angry and go to the gym. Like a bitch will cheat. Do you know what I mean? A bitch will cheat, and then I'll see the guy the next year and he's jacked. Do you know what I mean? You guys can at least take your anger and do a good thing. We get angry and steal your children. We're just not the same. We're not. We're not. But that's what I mean when I try to preface that. So that gets me into today's topic now that I'm riffing a little bit. Now that I'm riffing. Um Today we're going to talk about cheating. So, we're going to talk about modern women can't keep their mouths shut. They have this need to share stories. We do. We just yap. We're like yap, 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 yap. And you know what? I think we feel better cuz we just know deep down we're not really the best people. Do you hear me? I think every woman, like I think most men, you guys get to sleep well at night. You can, and I think that's a level of peace that men just will never understand that we don't have, because we have to go to bed and we have to think about all the crazy things we did when we were emotional, frustrated, being a bit. Do you know what I mean? And we have to like live with ourselves. Where you guys can just chill and be good people. Not all, and I totally mean that, YouTube. Not all, not all, not all, not all, not all. So we have the need to share stories no matter how scandalous. Women that have been on drugs, women that have been scammed, that have scammed men out of money, like Cardi B talked about it on podcast. Women that are spilling all of their personal business. And one of the latest trends are women sharing that they cheated on their perfect husband. Is it a good thing that these women are cheating in whorish ways? Well, okay, I wouldn't say a good thing. I think it's a good thing women are saying it. Because before, do you know what I mean? Women would cheat with the neighbor. And there's genealogy records that show this. Now, the only difference is now women's opportunity to cheat is like endless. It's like dick here, dick there, here. You could like Tom, Dick, Harry, and the opportunities, the chads we can cheat with. It's like women go to the dick store, the can I say that on YouTube? Should I say the husband store? I don't know. Women don't even want to be married. You know what I mean? Women go, okay, I'll just go to the man store, and it's like you could get a DJ with a big schlong, and and he's very popular. But then women are like, maybe I want a job. So we go to the 6'4" finance guy. And yeah, I mean, he works a lot. You barely see him, but he gives you some money and you go away. Okay, cool. Or women, we can go and then we can get banged out by an athlete and ghosted. But the excitement is a lot for us. Like I heard Derek Jeter gave herpes to half of New York City. I heard that's the word on the street, according to Reddit or whatever. Then we can go to our hometown and like get a lumberjack. I mean, that's how all the stories are ending. I mean, we can go on Titanic. We can have a like on Titanic. Rose had a multi-bajillionaire husband. Um, and then she was like, nah, I'm gonna go bang this guy who like won a ticket. And he's just kind of charming. And yeah, let me go bang him. Women are really the ones who will bang anything, and that's the honest truth. Because when men bang anything, you guys bang like an ugly chick with really big boobs, and you just focus on the boobs, right? Women, if a guy's funny or he plays guitar or something, we're like, tee let's ride. You know what I mean? Men, I mean, they will bang pretty much anything also. But women's anything is always worse than men's anything, because men's any like men don't have a kid with their anything generally. I mean, sometimes the woman pulls the fat grenade after, but at least up front she's kind of hot or just chubby, right? But women's anything, I mean, it'll be a criminal. It'll be Ted Bundy. That's our freaking anything. like, gee, this is comedy, YouTube. It's comedy, not meant to be serious. So, one of the latest trends is women cheating on their perfect husband. And I think it's a good thing that women are sharing their whorish ways. Women sharing these stories show men what women are doing out here and what they're going to have to put up with it when they're going to get married. Before, you might have believed that the women were faithful. And it is possible that um the women maybe didn't have the opportunity to cheat back then, and you could say that's good, lay down the hammer. But it's like my dad, when I was younger, I didn't understand why he wasn't more controlling, and he just kind of let my parents were kind of free range parents. They really were. I mean, we really could do whatever, and none of us really took advantage of it, if I'm being honest. Well, I didn't. I'll say that. I'm not about to be a snitch. But but I asked my dad why he chose to parent us that way. And he said, people will resent you if you control them. And the more you try to control people, the more they resent you later. And I thought about it. I'm like, that's women. And you might even be controlling somebody with their best interests at heart. I mean, you don't want to see your wife get ran through by 10 dudes that don't want her. You're like, be happy with me. But, if you control her, then she's going to think deep down that she could have did better with the 10 dudes. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people, mostly women, men can learn from other men's mistakes. Not when it comes to simping, but maybe like avoiding jail time. Simping is like a rite of passage. Every guy thinks he won't till he does. It's until he gets the Gluck Gluck 9,000. Once he gets the Gluck Gluck 9,000, they're basically cooked. Do you know what I mean? It's over. You can always tell when a guy's getting the Gluck Gluck because they'll justify any behavior. You're like, your girlfriend posted 10 thirst traps. Yeah, well, she's just trying to be more confident. And I'm like, didn't you 10 minutes ago say that you'd never accept that? And they're like, shh. They want to enjoy their Gluck Gluck. I can't blame them. Can't. Now, Doug. Now, so my point is, at least men now, they know what they're getting into. They don't get the wool. Like, imagine you're banging a hot girl in like the 80s. Now, you don't have social media to see all the stuff women say. I mean, at that time, maybe you work together, but you only like social media gives you guys the opportunity to see how women talk behind closed doors. Back then, they had no idea. And remember, the women from the 80s still divorced their husbands. So you're probably on the beach. I mean, we've seen those pictures with all the hot women. The women were actually hot back then. And they pulled the fat grenade, divorced their husbands, alienated the kid. Like, but you had no idea, you didn't see it coming. Versus today, you will probably get cheated on. Like, that's probably in your future if you choose to get married. I mean, I just don't see how it's not. I maybe I could sell you on there's a special woman that won't, but you have to understand. I mean, there's too many forces pushing us to be absolute whores. And I've seen the worst to the worst. I've interviewed. And that's actually what black pilled me was, I liked to think of myself as a good person, but I saw women better than me make worse decisions than I think I would, right? Like I think I think I'll stay married for life. I think, that's what you think. But I realized I'm like, that's just a prediction. You have no idea what's going to happen in the future. And I think that when guys hear that, they think that's kind of a bad thing to say. But I'm like, it's more honest than what these other ladies are saying. And that was really a black pill for me because I met women from Orthodox churches. I met women from devout Muslim communities. And I'm like, these women lived better, holier. Um, they talked less. They didn't have internet clout. You know what I mean? And I'm like, these women made every life decision. They married younger. They had more kids. And I'm like, they made every life decision better than me. And they still ruined their husband's life. I say it's better now because at least you know. At least you know. No, Doug says no because it makes the man look bad and disrespected, and the humiliation after the fact can be damaging as the cheating itself. And I do think that's a fair point. I mean, nothing was worse than getting cucked. Like, it's pretty bad when you're paying for a house for someone other dude to bang your wife in the house you paid for, you fixed up, that you made awesome, like you did all this stuff, and then the wife is like, "See ya, I'm gonna go bang my personal trainer, and you're gonna pay for it." That's pretty cucked. That's pretty cucked. Or even many men work through cheating, right? Many men work through cheating, and that's also pretty cucked, right? But it's one thing to be cucked, and it's another thing for everybody to know you're cucked. And it's one thing for maybe your town to know you're cucked, or your close friends, associates. And it's another thing for the whole world to know you're cucked. So that's a good point, Doug MPA. These women are doing this for themselves, not for anyone else. They usually tell the female friendly version of the story, where they're the heroes and the victims at the same time. There's nothing like being a hero and a victim. I could like That's like maximum simping points. How can I be the hero and the victim today? What can my story be? I overcame the haters that I asked for by talking about these topics. That's the typical female YouTuber one. Dealing with the hate is really hard. To go work at Starbucks. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what are the other? What are the other? Starbucks is hiring. We never want to do that. And I don't. I love it too much. I love doing this. This is too fun for me. A part of me, I think I was born for it some days. I really do. Okay. People can usually figure out who the man is that the woman's talking about. And the issue, and this is a problem, when they hear the woman's version of the story first, people will always remember the first version. And this is something I learned in media. Yeah, people that is a okay. So the question we're gonna ask, and we're gonna put the Zoom in the chat. If your wife cheated and broke up with you, would you rather her say that you were a really nice guy or an asshole? So we'll role play here. So if I'm like, I cheated, and if I'm going public, but he was the nicest man in the whole world. He was a perfect husband, but I just wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't satisfied. Is that better? Or two, he was such a fucking asshole. He's the worst. And I cheated. Which is worse? Well, like, what would you prefer? Because if she's calling you an asshole, that means she actually loved you. And if she said you were a really nice guy, that means you're a simp bitch. But here's the problem: when women really love you, they do go to the ends of the earth to destroy you. It's kind of dangerous having a woman love you too much, because if a woman loves you too much, then she really might, that's when women go to your job. They put you on, are we dating the same guy? That's what you call an A-level crash out. Women tend to only crash out. There's two things. When betas cheat, women crash out because we're like, because this is women, this is our innate problem, is we have to pick between the two men. We're like, do I want security, or do I want the guy that's like the bad boy? And if we date the bad boy, we have to accept that we're going to get cheated on forever. And if we date the nice guy, then we expect to not get cheated on because we picked the less attractive one. We're like, you can't cheat. And when they cheat, we're like, oh, that's when women crash out. When a woman thinks he'll never cheat, it doesn't matter. She'll put him in a sexless marriage. She'll think he'll never cheat. She'll be like, he would never do that. And then he does it. We're like, oh. And it's worse if she's younger, hotter, and better than us in every way. because that does happen. But when it's an asshole, it is expected, but there's also a crash out. So, Doug MPA will come on in a second to talk about the benefits once we get through an article